everybody, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is week 2 of League One predictions. Very quickly, if you want to skip to a match, which you should never want to do, please have a click below. We've timestamped everything, and if the chapters feature is working today, which it has not been recently, so I hope it is, you can do that, but don't do that. Also in the description is our Amazon affiliate link. If you're going to buy something on Amazon, click through the link. It's a small click for you, but a little bit of money for us to help out with the channel. We also have a free Audible trial down there, so give that a go. It's almost as good as listening to us talk about football. But enough of this. Ian, how did we do last week?
Yes, let's have a very quick look at how we did last week. And much like the Premier League, Tom, you have come out a 7-4 winner. So you're 1-0 up in League One predictions. You got that. Didn't start well from us. There were a lot of shocks, a lot of surprises. Didn't start well for us, but you got that Fleetwood Burton game spot on. And,
Thank you, Joey.
That was pretty much the one that tipped you over the edge, but there were a lot of surprises. Very, very quickly, I'm just going to say one thing. A friend of mine is running, the Oxford Half Marathon is not happening this year, but a friend of mine, David Ayres, he always runs the Oxford Half Marathon, raising money for Sobel House. He is still going to be running a half marathon. So, you know, we put a little link down in the description to his Just Giving cause, his Just Giving page. So please go and have a look at that. Anything you can spare on that would be much appreciated. And as I'm looking at this now, with Swindon Town at the top of the league and Oxford in the relegation zone, I'm frantically looking around for a panic button to hit. So Thomas, please give me that first match.
AFC Wimbledon hosting Plymouth. Argyle. Did I say that name right?
I think you did. I keep telling you, it's Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Afk Wimbledon.
If you want to see some good pronunciations, check out our Bundesliga predictions video. That is an absolute treat to behold. But Plymouth got a win. Wimbledon got a 2-2 draw, so both of these are off the mark. Don't quite know how Plymouth got a win against Blackpool, Tom. They were very much got the goal early through Jeffcott, and Blackpool just battered them for the rest of the game. We've got one of our Blackpool followers who commented on my Oxford video and said how they were very, very unlucky, but they did look very good. So he's encouraged for how they're going to do for the season. But as I always say, you don't want to have that tag of play well and lose. Mad first half against Northampton Town was 2-2 at half time, no goals in the second half. But you know, I think they look like a fighting side, like we'd expect.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what the score will be, Mr. Pickering?
Well, Ian, I am going to back the AFC Wimbledon in this game. Wow. I don't know why. I think they're going to do well against this Plymouth side. Plymouth were absolutely battered by Blackpool, but Blackpool, like we said in the earlier predictions, we thought they were a pretty decent side. So AFC Wimbledon to beat Plymouth.
What are you talking about? What is this? What is this nonsense?
2-1 to AFC.
I think that I'm going to go for Plymouth again. I'm going to go for a Plymouth win. I think it'll be a nice, good start for the Green Army. Gonna say
Green Army.
There you go. I'm going to go for the reverse. I'm going to go for Wimbledon 1, Plymouth 2.
You know, I'm also going to say this. Everyone who's watching this channel, I have a lot more fun with League One predictions than I do Premier League. I do watch like games and I do follow it, but it's a lot more fun in this league for me to be loose, especially because Ian is so invested in it. So, on that note, let's talk about Ian's favourite side, Rochdale versus Portsmouth.
So, Rochdale didn't do me any favours by getting battered by the old enemy Swindon Town at the weekend. And they go into this one against a Pompey side who will be looking for a better performance as well. It was pretty much the same old. Further struggles with Pompey under Jacket.
What is going on? Why do we even predict things for Portsmouth and Sunderland? Can we not just predict that everything they do is going to be annoying?
That's about the only thing I did predict right. Pompey would draw with Shrewsbury.
Side is so frustrating. I don't get it. Are you trying to be this frustrating? But I can't not put Portsmouth and Sunderland together every time I speak about it. And it's their steadfast refusal to just win games they should win. Stop it. Stop.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's probably the worst possible result and performance you could have for Pompey, where it was just a turgid game where they struggled to score, which was all the problems that their fans had about Kenny Jackett's style of play last season. You would expect them to beat this Rochdale side, though. You have to say, I think they will. I'm back in Pompey again for the first time, actually. I didn't back them last weekend. I think it's going to be Rochdale 0, Pompey 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 because I don't trust this Pompey side at all.
God, here we go. Blackpool versus Swindon Town.
Well, Ian, Swindon Town are the talk of the town as they top the table after a stunning 3-1 victory against promotion contenders Rochdale. They were at the races for the entire match, got a couple good goals, and they handily beat a Rochdale side we expected to be in the playoffs. So now we know that Swindon will be challenging for the title this year. Blackpool, on the other hand, fell apart against Plymouth Argyle, conceded that goal, as you said, and then refused to score. How do you see this match playing out?
Oh, why?
Oh, I enjoyed
why
that.
does football do this to me? Okay, so let's break it down. Swindon got a few lucky goals early against the Rochdale side, but I'm more focused about that where they capitulated and gave that one away at the end. That should be the biggest worry for all you Robins fans. And going up to Blackpool, enjoy the sunshine and enjoy the nice amenities that Blackpool has to offer, because you're going to get nothing from this Blackpool side who battered away at Plymouth and will be chomping at the bit to put that injustice right. It will be Blackpool 3, Swindon Town 0.
Okay, that's insane. I have Blackpool winning 2-1, and we're not going to get into the raving, delusional brain that is Ian Allen. Wigan Athletic versus Gillingham.
Both sides had a 2-0 defeat on the opening day, Tom. Both sides were pretty poor. We expected Wickham to be struggling this season, but I did expect Gillingham to be a lot better.
Let me just put my hand up now and stop you. You just called Wigan Athletic Wickham, which we already get enough hate mail on this channel for our dislike of Wickham, but you've just called Wigan Athletic Wickham.
Well, thank you for calling me out, and I apologise to everybody involved in this channel. But yeah,
should we just call Wigan Wickham and just
no. Just today, so Wigan Athletic had probably a not surprising defeat to Ipswich, I should say. Went down 2-0. Gillingham, I expected them to be a lot better against Hull, but they also went down 2-0 as well. I think Gillingham had chances, but it was just one of those games where Hull were the more clinical. It seemed like there was a lot of very even games in League One, or there were situations where a side took the lead and the other side battered them for the rest of the game but just couldn't get back into it. I think that Gillingham might win this game, though. It's hard to really back Wigan in any game so far, and still they start winning games. It's difficult to see them having any form whatsoever. So I think Gillingham will win 1-0.
Just to clarify, we did pick them to go down, didn't we?
Wigan, I did it again. Wigan, yeah, we did.
Cool. I'm doubling that score. 1-0.
Charlton Athletic versus Doncaster Rovers, or Bells.
My Bells drew 1-1 with the Mick Dons, and Charlton, don't know how'd they do.
What? Tom. Impressive victory for Charlton.
Well, they did. They beat Crewe, and neither of us called it.
Yeah,
shocking. Absolutely shocking. Ian, have your say on this match.
Well, that's it. That was one of the things is why I didn't want Charlton to be down in the relegation zone when we did our pre-season predictions, is because I know there's a lot of off-the-field problems, but at the end of the day, they still got a pretty good side, and obviously they got Lee Bowie as well, and they were very, very good in the game against Crewe, deserved to win the match. Doncaster Rovers got a goal early and then just tried to soak up the pressure against MK Dons. MK Dons smashed them for the rest of that match, and managed to get the equaliser in the end. So Doncaster held on really for quite a lucky point, I would say. And I can't look beyond Charlton in this one, Tom. I think there's a good start for them. Momentum carries them forward. Usually they're pretty strong at the Valley. 2-1 Charlton Athletic.
Yeah, I'm going 1-0 Charlton. I think it's going to be a cagey match, but I think they'll win it as well. Mick Dons versus Line City.
Look at him. He's back to saying those funny team names again, isn't he? But both these sides were really good at the weekend. Milton Keynes Dons got...
Yeah, what was Lincoln's result?
We'll get to Lincoln. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Don't worry. But just going to say Milton Keynes Dons. We just said how they played really well against Doncaster and deserved the draw. Probably deserved the win. Lincoln City thoroughly deserved to beat Oxford at the weekend. They were really good. Really it sounds really corny to say, but a streetwise performance, if you like. They got a goal early. Tactically, they were spot on in defence, and they could hit Oxford on the break every time. And they just sort of punished Oxford for their inability to break them down, and Oxford's frailties at the back at the moment, which we'll get into more when we talk about Oxford. But very, very un-Appleton-like performance, I must say, because usually his sides play a lot better football. But something they said on Radio Oxford commentary is I think you might see a lot of clean sheets for Lincoln this season, and I'm going to back them again. I think they're going to win 1-0 against MK Dons.
I think it's be 2-0. Lincoln were really good against Oxford. And I know Oxford were a bit aimless and didn't seem to know what to do with the ball, which they've been a little bit like at the very end of the season, obviously, and in the playoffs. MK Dons, like we said, were battering the door down against Doncaster Rovers. So you think they're going to have like an organised and good performance, but we backed this Lincoln side, I think, to make the playoffs. I still think they'll make the playoffs. And very quickly, if you'd like to see Ian's review of the Oxford game, it is up in the corner.
Hull City versus Crewe Alexandra.
Yeah, so Hull got a win and Crewe lost, didn't they, to Charlton? And I know I expected more from Crewe. I really did. And I didn't see it in that game. And I expected less from Hull. And I saw more from Hull. So
have we underestimated Hull? Have we sold them down the river a little bit? Are they better than what we thought, gave them credit for?
I mean, maybe. This is the problem with League One, though. Like, League One is such a slog, and teams go through these crazy runs of being good and bad that, like, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into these two teams. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say it's a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Copped out. He copped out, folks. He couldn't admit his shortcomings. So I'm gonna back Hull for a win again. I didn't back them first week. I'm going to back Hull for a win, Thomas. I think that they're going to get a win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Hull City win.
Oh, battering. Absolute battering. It's over. I did it once. It's not coming back. Bristol Rovers. This is Ipswich Town.
No more car factory? No more gas factory?
The gas factory thing is just getting on my nerves now. No. No.
Well, Tom, let's just talk about how Bristol Rovers got on then, rather than talking about how they were the main producer of the Rover car. Absolute nonsense. We spoke last year about them. Rovers got a 1-1 draw against Sunderland. Probably surprised a lot of people with that result. They got a penalty really early and nearly hung on to it. Sunderland battered them for the rest of the game, but Sunderland did get that equaliser through Chris Maguire late on. So probably you would say quite fortunate to get the point, but if you held on to it for like 90 minutes, you're probably quite disappointed that you couldn't hold on for it for a couple of minutes more. Ipswich, very solid win. They've started the season very well. Good win in the cup for them early doors, and a good win in the league over Wigan. Actually said it right this time. And it's hard.
1 for 3.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 Ipswich Town win, Tom, just because I don't see them ever scoring more than 2 in a game.
Well, I've got Ipswich scoring 3 in this game, but everything you said stood.
We're sort of sliding down. We'll get to it. Last week you said 4, I said 3. This week I'm saying 3.
Now 3 and 2. Tomorrow, next week will be 2 and 1, and then it'll be 0.
Shrewsbury Town versus Northampton Town.
Well, you learnt your lesson, didn't you, Ian? You did not back Northampton to put up a fight against Wimbledon, and they did. They put up a real battle. They really fought. It was the second half. It was a comeback, wasn't it? And
it was not. No, it was just all the goals were in the first half. It was 2-2, but it was like I think they were 1-0 down, 2-1 down. Came back into it. Yeah, so
I knew they'd come back. Shrewsbury, on the other hand, clawed their way to a 0-0 draw with Portsmouth, or maybe Portsmouth just couldn't be bothered to turn up. We're really not sure anymore.
Shrewsbury deserved a point in that game.
I think I've got Shrewsbury winning this. They had really good home form last season. It would be hard to bet against their home form, and Northampton are a side that we really didn't see having a fantastic season this year. So I'm going to go 1-0 to the Shrews.
You know what? I'm not sure if we've done the same score yet, but I'm going to go. I was thinking 1-0 Shrewsbury all the way along in this one as well. They actually did play well in that draw against Pompey. It could have gone either way. I think that was probably what annoyed Portsmouth fans just as much as anything else.
Yeah. Oh, Ian, it's a classic. Peterborough United versus Fleetwood Town.
Very conflicted on this one. I really don't know what to predict on this score, because we expected a lot from Peterborough, and they were quite, in the same way Oxford were quite well beaten by Lincoln, Peterborough were quite well beaten by Accrington, I must say. I know they could have got goals. Johnson Clark-Harris wasn't quite his day. But Fleetwood did get a good win. Came from one. Looked like Burton were going to snatch a draw, but Fleetwood came good in the end, which gave you 3 points, which won you predictions. So you should be all in on your Fleetwood boys this week, Tom. What do you think? Disappointed from Peterborough?
I'm disappointed. I'm going to be a bit better than I was in the Premier League, where it was doom and gloom for every team I wasn't impressed by. But it is the beginning of the season. It is a slog of a season. There's a reason you, me, and everyone else has Peterborough in the top 2, basically, of their predictions. I still think they'll figure it out and come good, especially with the attacking options they have. And as such, I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to back Fleetwood.
Ooh.
I hate backing Fleetwood.
Has Joey made a phone call? Did he say, I've been watching this channel and I'm sick of hearing this out of Ian Allen's mouth? And Ian was like, okay.
I can't do it.
You can't do it.
Peterborough 2, Fleetwood 1.
Thank God. You don't back Fleetwood, Ian. It's a rule. You don't back Swindon, Fleetwood, or Wickham. If you back any of them, you are no longer an Oxford United fan. Burton Albion versus Accrington Stanley.
So Accrington Stanley produced the result of the weekend in League One, beating Peterborough United 2-0. Goals from Charles and a fantastic strike from loan signing Uwakwe. I don't know how to. I'm sorry, I do not know how to say his name. Uwakwe, I think it is, but.
Why are there so many players we can't pronounce?
But he had a great week. Accrington Stanley won like 8-0 or 8-1 in the EFL Cup, like the Football League trophy. And he scored in that one apparently as a great goal as well. And he scored a beautiful goal in this one. So a wonderful week for him and a great week for Stanley. Just classic Accrington Stanley when no one gives them a chance. They're at their absolute best. Burton, it was a tough game, tough opening game for Burton. And again, it was a narrow defeat, nothing to be ashamed of in that one. And I think this one might be a draw, actually. I'm going to go for a draw. I think this one's going to be a nice, friendly 1-1 draw.
Yeah, Ian, I think you're a fool. Burton 0, Accrington 1. Accrington on a run to the promotion places. Get in your car and drive it up that hill. Every year in League One, there's one random side that just wins a bunch of matches at the beginning of the season. Accrington Stanley is it.
You just say that because of last year. You do not know that. All right, Thomas. Okay, we've arrived. We've arrived at Oxford Station. It wasn't very good to start the season, and it's going to be a tough one again. We've arrived at the main event.
Oxford United versus Sunderland Football Club. Really quickly, before you go off on an Oxford rant, I'm going to go off on a Sunderland rant. Stop it. Quit it. Stop playing around. Stop messing with all of your lovely fans' hearts. And just score 2 goals in a game and stop drawing 1-1. We're bored of it. No one likes it. The entire league has had a vote, and they say either get promoted or get relegated because this is getting boring. We don't want you in the league anymore. Sorry, Ian, now you can talk about Oxford.
So, let me just first of all say there is a young man doing YouTube videos, and his channel's called The Young Fan Podcast. And he does like a 30-minute roundup of the games and is excellent. And I thoroughly recommend it to go and check that out. If you want a little short snippets, listen to my video. But if you want the in-depth analysis, go and listen to the Young Fan Podcast. And he said something that really ran true in the Lincoln game. Is all of Oxford's frailties came true in the one match. And that is naivety at the back, lack of cover at left back for Ruffles, and just the lack of pace in the side going forward as well. And Lincoln took full advantage of it, and it was a pretty one of those games where, it was a very, very frustrating afternoon, Thomas.
I think Michael Appleton said it pre-match that this was the perfect time to play Oxford United, and I don't think any of us knew that.
But Carl Robinson said that as well. Why is Carl Robinson saying that?
I mean, firstly, as much as we now love Carl, he is a madman. He's like Rasputin, all right? Like, he works for 2 people and everyone else you're a little bit worried about. But Oxford, again, much like Peterborough, we had them up near the top for a reason, and there is no reason to begin jumping ship and lacking belief in this side that played some fantastic swashbuckling football last year, has probably actually improved itself quite a lot, except for the loss of Rob Dickey, has a young player coming in Atkinson, who is not young.
I'm shaking my head at everything you've said so far, so just keep going.
I thought he was young. Is he not young?
Thomas, I'm shaking my head at everything. Okay. I'll get to it.
And I just don't think now is the time to jump off believing that Oxford United are a good football club. So I think Oxford United are going to beat Sunderland 2-1.
No, I'm not having it. I can't stand it after one game. We should be top of the league. We're in the relegation zone. I have pressed that panic button. It is hit. Thomas, what is happening? Elliot Moore, you've got to step up at the back, man. You've got to be the leader that we need you to be. Last season, Dickey, we needed it from Dickey and he stepped up, although we did play with Massinio. Rob Atkinson is a young defender, Tom, but he needs Elliot Moore to command that back four, and I haven't seen it from him yet. Josh Ruffles, as Mr. Oxford United, Mr. Consistency, is out injured. We've got no one to replace him. Alex Gorin is injured and Liam Kelly looks too lightweight to do that stopper role. As much as he's a good passer, he hasn't got anyone to pass to because everyone's just too static and everyone's standing still. We haven't got any pace in the side. We can't get Taylor on the ball, and I can't see anything other than Oxford winning this game by 2-0.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the ravings of a madman and total lunatic to end what has been a totally off-the-wall podcast where I think I've said about 4 facts and Ian has sounded like a drunk buffoon. We love you all. We thank you all so much for everything you do for this channel. Please continue to like, subscribe, push it around with your friends, comment. We really do appreciate it all. And we're excited to see you for week 3 of the League One.
Ah.